up, guys? Blake Ramsey with Revimpression on a new episode. I know I've been away for a little bit, but something good for you today. Something really, really good. So a lot of you guys have been asking me specifically, since you got a hold of the Scat Pack car, what do you think about the comparison to the Hellcat? And guess what? Today is the day where we see exactly where that stands in between the two. The Scat Pack was an unbelievable car. It was tight through a corner when it was a lot bigger than it should have been. Forgiving when I needed it to be, if I wanted to cruise, but when I got on it, it had this very visceral, amazing power. That was the one thing that I sometimes argue to people, that maybe you don't need a Hellcat if you can hook up a Scat Pack car the correct way. Now, not a lot of times I like to admit this, but once in a while I am wrong. That after driving this Hellcat, I gotta say, yes, you can get a Scat Pack car to hook up and go almost as fast to get in a hookup, but there is something about a Hellcat that is the reason why it has the name that it does, because it's not exactly the most docile vehicle. You can be cruising on the freeway, but man, when you step in it, it really lets you know what the Mopar guys are up to, especially since now being a little brother to the oncoming Demon. I don't understand why you'd need more than what it is. Yes, you do need more tire, much more tire, because the 275s that are on the car, as much as the Pirellis just try to help out, it's tire smoke. Yes, that's the fun part about it, but man, if you don't know where you're going and if you don't know which direction you're headed, it can surprise you. It can jump up on you and bite you. My first opinion of when I got into Hellcat was the cold start. That really started forming that opinion, and the cold start is magnificent. Like I said on the Scat Pack video, it really gets your attention because everybody thinks that it's aftermarket. It's not. With a car like this, it's not meant to be very docile, quiet, like I'm sorry to your neighbors kind of car. It's made to be, I'm taking this out and everybody around me needs to know that, to get out of the way, really. But with the Hellcat, it's much more aggressive and it's much more of a bite. The thing is, when you really get in it, it kind of is a trumpet from the devil. It's got this massive, I mean, if you think about the 60s Hemi cars, think about how aggressive those cars were. It's beautiful, massive, vicious resonance that you hear coming from every part of the car, not just the back, but when you hear something like this, and that's the quiet part inside here. And I'm not even on a track mode. I'm on a simply default street mode. All comfort, it's going through corners, it's absorbing everything. But if I were to press one particular thing, track, now not only did the car stiffen up, the suspension is doing everything a lot tighter to be able to make sure that I'm going through the corner the right way. Even though the power doesn't want to allow me to do that a lot of the time, the suspension is trying to help me, as well as the giant brakes that are on this car. But with this car, it's doing a lot more than trying to kill you a lot of the time. So the horsepower on the car is world famous at this point. 707 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, and 650 foot-pounds of torque under 5,000 RPM. That's a pretty amazing thing, and you can thank the big supercharger for that. But a little under 4,500 pounds, that's a big plus on having so much torque on somewhat heavy of a car, and that's why the car does not feel as heavy as it really is. So you can blow all the whole Fat Cat thing right out the door about that, because as big as it is, it's comfortable and it's really fast. Really fast. So real quick, I wanted to give my appreciation and a big thanks to Cliff over at Premier Coach in Camarillo in Thousand Oaks. Premier Coach Auto Collision allowed me to take the Hellcat as a belief in what Revimpression is and what it can do for the auto industry. Although it's small now, I'm not going to stop making these videos because I want you guys to love what I put out, and I want to give you guys real information and real fun about what all these cars can do for people. And not only do I take my own car to Premier Coach, but I would suggest if you guys need it anywhere in the LA County area or Ventura County area, and you need some kind of stuff that's done on bodywork, definitely go to those guys. There's only a few that I would actually let work on my cars, my personal cars, and those are the guys. So thank you, Premier Coach. Thank you, Cliff, for letting me borrow the car. And to the Mopar guys, I really appreciate what you guys have done. And you know what, honey, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I gotta say that there's going to be one of these in the garage at some point in the next couple of years. That's how much I like this